Start with the breaking news on inflation figures. Capriti, say good morning. Tell me.
Good morning, Kate. Yeah, so the inflation rate came in at 2.6% for November, up from 2.3% in October, and crucially, even higher than the Bank of England's 2% target that it was the previous month. Bit of context to all these figures. It's worth bearing in mind that this is a world away from where we were a couple of years ago when inflation was hitting the double digits, 11.1% it peaked at. But that's not exactly a high bar for us to be aiming for. It's now considerably lower than that. Inflation has broadly been coming down. The Bank of England is cutting interest rates. Nevertheless, it is still above the bank's target. And some economists, they are getting jittery about this because the fear is that Rachel Reeves's budget might not have helped the cause. Big increase in public spending, the increase in national insurance contributions could lead to prices rising even further, meaning that inflation will take longer to come down to target. And let's not forget that although inflation has broadly been coming down, we're still living with the consequences of the cost of living crisis because prices are still a lot higher than they were back in 2021. The price level is high, even though the inflation rate is coming down. They're about 20% higher than they were back in 2021. So people are very sensitive to inflation going up. And then the question on the back of all of this is, what does that mean for interest rates? Well, it's made it less likely that the Bank of England is going to cut interest rates again tomorrow, not just because of the headline inflation rate, but also because of other things like wage growth. Wages are growing at 5.2% in the economy. That's far too high for the Bank of England's comfort. So it means it's probably going to have to take a more cautious approach than our neighbours in the Eurozone, for example, and hold interest rates again.
House Republicans, House Democrats, Senate Republicans, and Senate Democrats reached a bipartisan agreement to fund the government, keep it open, and meet the needs of the American people. We reached a bipartisan agreement to provide disaster assistance to everyday Americans whose lives have been upended and turned upside down as a result of hurricanes, tornadoes, wildfires, floods, and other types of extreme weather events. We reached a bipartisan agreement to meet the needs of the American people and provide assistance to farmers, families, children, seniors, veterans, men and women in uniform, and working class Americans. House Republicans have now unilaterally decided to break a bipartisan agreement that they made. House Republicans have been ordered to shut down the government and hurt everyday Americans all across this country. House Republicans will now own any harm that is visited upon the American people that results from a government shutdown or worse. An agreement is an agreement. It was bipartisan, and there was nothing more.
This attack took place on Sunday night, apparently, at the Winter Wonderland in Hyde Park. 3 arrests have been made, 2 men aged 18 and 21, and a 16-year-old boy. The victim, as we know, has not got life-threatening injuries, but remains in hospital. Unfortunately, in recent years, attacks with corrosive substances have been on the rise, whether that be alkaline or acid, both of which can cause dreadful injuries. It seems almost now to be a weapon of choice for certain gangs as they embroil themselves in battles with their rivals. My suspicions are that this will be gang-related. We don't have any information to confirm or deny that at the moment. But for somebody to go into Winter Wonderland with a corrosive substance, bearing in mind there's a lot of security at this venue, it shows to me clear intent to do somebody harm. There's bag searches, there's a lot of security staff, there's perimeter fences, there's CCTV, and there's people that patrol the event all the time in order to try and spot suspicious activity. So somebody has really done considerable planning to take this alkaline substance into Winter Wonderland and then use it to injure somebody. Unfortunately, there is no such thing as perfect security. the organisers of Winter Wonderland put a lot of time, effort and money into trying to make the event as secure as they possibly can, but this very unfortunate incident just goes to show no matter how much security you put in place, it can virtually always be breached. If this turns out to be gang related, then I'm sure there will be revenge somewhere. Where, I don't know, but I suspect there may be another very unfortunate incident reported in the media before very long. The buzzword, not only at this time of the year, but throughout, is vigilance. Unfortunately, with increasing crime rates virtually across the board, we have to be vigilant, whether we're in our homes, visiting an event, or going to the high street. There are unscrupulous criminals out there that want to relieve us of that which we've worked hard for, our phones, our cars, anything we might have in our homes. Increasing crime, decreasing police numbers, we have to be vigilant.
Bueno, hoy lo que se escuchaba era que iban a abrir la frontera, hoy 18 de diciembre. Muchos estamos aquí porque la situación a veces de los países nos están obligando a llegar hasta acá. Por lo menos yo estoy siendo perseguida por los políticos, por no estar de acuerdo con una dictadura y me tocó inmigrar, ser uno más de los inmigrantes. Estamos nerviosos y por eso tratamos como que de entrar para ver qué va a pasar con nosotros antes de que él entre ahora el 20 de enero. Sí, tenemos miedo, por supuesto que sí, porque yo vengo desde Venezuela y para nadie es un secreto lo que estamos viviendo hoy en día en Venezuela.
Ya va a entrar el nuevo presidente, que es lo que tenemos, ¿sí me entiende? Temor, que anda diciendo pues que no quiere más inmigrantes, que tal y que la vuelta, y entonces ¿cómo le hacemos? Uno se entra en desespero por pasar, ¿sí me entiende?
And we now shift our focus to the UK. Is it becoming the Western capital for Sharia courts? According to a report by The Times, the Sharia courts, which have grown to 85 in number since 1982, now hold significant sway over the lives of thousands of people across the UK. In fact, an app endorsed by a Sharia court reportedly allows Muslim men in the UK to select the number of wives they have from a drop-down menu from 1 to up to 4. The same app also allows for the creation of Islamic wills, where daughters inherit only half the share of sons, reportedly. Around 100,000 Islamic marriages believed to have been conducted in the UK, reportedly, many without any official registration with the civil authorities. These courts, comprised almost entirely of male Islamic scholars, are often the sole authority in granting divorce. If a woman is seeking to end her marriage but her husband refuses to grant it, she can turn to one of these courts for assistance. As per experts, the decisions by Sharia court often directly contradicting the rights guaranteed by British law. Take the case of preacher Haitham Al-Haddad, for example, one of the more prominent figures in the UK's Sharia court system. In the year 2009, he was recorded stating that a man should not be questioned about hitting his wife because such matters are between the couple. In fact, there are some people in the UK who are fighting against religious courts. Baroness Cox, a former academic and a crossbench member of the House of Lords, has reportedly long advocated for legislation to protect women from discrimination under Sharia law. However, past efforts to regulate these councils have reportedly been met with resistance from the government. Former UK Prime Minister Theresa May, as Home Secretary, commissioned a review into Sharia courts, but ultimately the Conservative government refused to regulate them, citing concerns about presenting them as an alternative to British law. The UK government reportedly insists that Sharia law does not form any part of British law, but at the same time, has it already become the Western capital for Sharia courts?
A determined Volodymyr Zelensky arrived to address Brussels. His message: America is needed to secure peace. It was the final European Union summit before Donald Trump's inauguration in January, and the president-elect's promise to immediately end the war in Ukraine loomed over the event. So much so that the Ukrainian president made it clear that he needs more than just European support.
It's very important that the voice of Europe is a united voice. They need to be united also with the United States of America. We're waiting, of course, for the inauguration of the new president, Donald Trump. We'd like to come up with a serious plan on how to stop Putin. I think that both Donald Trump and the whole European Union are able to do that.
Since Russia's invasion of Ukraine in 2022, Europe has provided 46 billion euros in military aid, compared to approximately 65 billion euros from the United States. Trump's election has raised concerns that he will cut the vast financial support in attempt to prompt Kyiv to secure a swifter peace deal, likely with painful concessions. The prospect has upped the pressure on European allies, and discussions have sprouted about increased funding and the possible deployment of European peacekeepers. However, for Zelensky, the true guarantee of safety is NATO. He has said with security guarantees from the alliance and enough weaponry, he could agree to a ceasefire on current lines, then pursue the rest of the territory through diplomatic avenues. For the Russian president's part, he claims he is open to discussions. On Thursday, he said that while he hasn't spoken to Trump in over 4 years, he is open to it at any time.
I'm ready for a conversation and for a meeting, if he so wishes.
He then dismissed the assertion that Russia was in a weak position, saying the country was stronger than when it began its invasion nearly 3 years ago.
According to reports, Russia has developed a cancer vaccine. And what's more, Russia plans a rollout as soon as early 2025. Also, according to the Russian Health Ministry, the vaccine will be distributed free of cost. Reports suggesting Russia has also promised no-cost treatment for terminally ill patients. As per pre-clinical trials, the vaccine can suppress tumor growth and prevent the spread of cancer in the human body. What's more, unlike preventive vaccines, which are basically vaccines designed to prevent the onset of the disease, this one is reportedly designed to treat cancer patients and will even be personalized for each individual.
It's not about moving 100 or 200 or 300 meters ahead. Our military men are regaining the territory by square kilometers every day. That's what I wanted to highlight. Took it with me for a reason. Number one, I wanted to thank the guys for this gift. Second, let's think that this is 150th Marine Brigade, represents all military banners of our guys fighting right now for Russia, for the motherland, throughout the line of engagement. I have to say that the situation is changing drastically. You know it very well. I just wanted to confirm that. We see movement all along the front line every day. And, as I have already said, it's not about moving 100 or 200 or 300 meters ahead. Our military men are regaining the territory by square kilometers every day. That's what I wanted to highlight.
Israel is burning children alive!
Chairman Boss.
You as Congress are complicit in the genocide in Gaza. You keep sending billions of dollars to Israel. Meanwhile, veterans are homeless and committing suicide with more...
The witnesses will hold on. The audience will refrain from public. You will be removed from the building. You will be removed from the building.
We will suspend until Capitol Police can clear the room.
The room will be cleared of any protesters. Have her removed from the building. Merry Christmas.